Hello, Hogzilla here again, and in today's video I'm going to cover my tips, tricks, and guide to completing the festival expansion mission between a rock and a boring place. This will be an informal guide and look at the mission as I will just play one of my speed runs, giving my tips and tricks along the way. The purpose of this mission will be to be beating back the boring that pops up on the map, which I will discuss. But let's get started by building the infrastructure for this mission. I'm going to start by adding another logging camp, as that's just going to be needed, and doing a lot of maxing of budgets. Then what I'm going to do is build a couple warehouses, because we're just going to need that. Anyway, for this scenario, get your library built and get your fireworks and your balloon factory built. Get another Teamsters built. You're just going to need it. There's going to be so much work. And make sure that you're building sugar and a rubber. The sugar is just so you can bring in more money through rum, because there's already one sugar, but it's just not enough even on the budget level 3. So then I go ahead and I upgrade and max out the budget on the Teamsters, get my shipyard built, since rum and boats are big money makers. I'm going to build one coal and one iron. I'm trying to build those as close together because I'm going to use that festival ground, as you're going to see in a bit, to cover them both. The festival ground will actually increase the efficiency of both mines when you have the Festival of Hard Work selected as the work mode. So now what I'm doing is I am building a tunnel all the way up to the gold and oil well. I'm actually pausing and backing up here just to mention here, for some reason there's some bug in the game where if you start the tunnel on the bottom side and come out the part where I start here, the one end of the tunnel will disappear. It's like a glitch in the game. So if you start on the top and then build the bottom part of the tunnel, there's no bug, there's no issue. I'm building gold and oil wells now. So obviously these are all going to be requirements of the mission, so I'm just pre-building as much as I can. And then I'm building parking decks, because this, with the free wheels edict, that means the employees can just use parking ramps to go from place to place. So now you can see some of the requirements are to have 1,000 gold and 600 iron in the warehouse. But we're gonna and maybe I'll talk about it more when we get there, but there's a little trick to this mission you could do to do it even quicker. You don't want to do this necessarily in order, but you want to put coal and iron in one warehouse and then gold and oil in the other warehouse. So we're just waiting for a little money in here, just connect up all the roads. Just waiting now for everything to build. Get that last parking ramp in there. Get that Festival of Hard Work, because I want to get that festival going as soon as possible. As soon as the boring circles appear. So what the boring circles mean is that the people in that area are bored, and they none of the industry or fun or anything that's functional in that area, except for festival grounds, will function. So if you have two mines in an area that's boring, they're not going to do anything, as if they're paused. So there, you can see the boring circle was there. I ran the Festival of Hard Work. It's a twofer because you get rid of the boring, plus it increases the efficiency of the mines based on the work mode. So if I were to go and look at the mines, they'd be like at 300% efficiency for the length of the festival. So now I'm just waiting for the coal and iron to get to the warehouse. But I'm also checking to make sure my gold and oil is getting built. So I'm just waiting here. I'm heavily in debt, so that's why I'm just waiting around here. Okay, so I have the 1600. I'm gonna send it. So now, this is where the trick I was referencing before comes into effect. So they want you to have 2 oil wells and both of them to be upgraded with the fracking. And here's where I'm gonna be a little cheeky in the scenario for speedrunning purposes. Normally, you would just have the 2 oil wells, do the 2 upgrades on the fracking, but then what that does is that is going to bring in multiple borings, and it's going to have at least 1 boring over the mines, and it's going to have another boring spot over the gold and oil. And you're going to need to build your party blimps and get that all going to send over there to take care of that boring. Well, that takes time from a speedrunning perspective that you don't have. So what I do is I first get the oil requirement. There's going to be later in the mission an oil requirement and a gold requirement, I believe 1,000 each. So what I'm going to do is watch my warehouses until I have 1,000 gold and 1,000 gold and 1,000 oil. Then I'm going to upgrade the oil wells. And it actually gets you to complete the mission quicker. Plus you have the money in the bank. There's a couple optional missions there. The Axis one, just skip. You don't need it. Now, the other one is to fulfill a balloons export trade route. You really don't need to do it, but whatever. You can do it if you want. Make sure that you do your edicts for employees and penal. Normally, if you're going to take longer on the scenario, and I would also say state loans, but I do this scenario so quick that I don't even get to the point where I can get state loans. So now I'm just watching to see I at least have 1,000 each of coal, iron, gold. At least of all 4 resources, and then once I have that, I can shut that resource off and have it export. So now all I'm doing is waiting. I'm just waiting for the 1,000 oil, 1,000 gold to get into the warehouse, just because it's quicker. Because you're wasting money on that fracking, and you don't even have the people there. And then the boring is going to show up, and all those people are going to go away, and then you're going to need to get them back. And it is quicker this way. I did shave time off of my speedrunning time by just doing it this way, by waiting on the fracking. But I will set up the parks. You're going to need a park by both of those. And then we're going to need a third park in a moment by the nickel area. But first, just going to do a bunch of more waiting. Add another Teamsters, because we can afford it. Set up some emergency jobs to the warehouse. just because I'm trying to get this. Obviously, it's a speed run, so I'm trying to do it as quickly as possible. So I have enough gold there, you can see, so I'm just waiting on the oil. You can't import the oil, or else I'd make it too easy. I guess one thing as I'm sitting here thinking is I guess I could run the fracking on one of the 2 oil wells. That might be a future possibility. It needs it to have it on both to complete the quest. So I'm just making sure there's always employees here. Because no employees means no oil, and no oil means it'll take longer to complete. So I'm just watching here. See, okay, we're almost to 1,000 on the oil. Just a lot of waiting at this point. I didn't think there was that much waiting. I might have tried to cut this part out if I knew it was going to take this long. But we're just waiting for the 1,000 in oil here. Watching for a vehicle to turn in to the warehouse on the long drive. There should be, any minute now, we should be getting the 1,000 in oil. Oh, yep, we're at 1,000. Perfect. So now we're going to go up and we're going to do the fracking. Perfect. So now, what that'll do is that'll uncover the party blimps, I believe. Turn off the emergency jobs. Send the goods. Up to this point, the party blimps was non-buildable. So now you can see boring is starting to show its face a little bit. And we build the party blimps, get the parks set up. And now we just wait for the 500 fireworks and 500 balloons to process here. It should be any second now. Just need those fireworks in there. And now you can start the festival. The blimps take a little bit of time, so one thing I always say to watch out is if you need to run festivals simultaneously as part of some requirement, give the blimps a little bit of lead time. Start the festival with party blimps. Wait till they're almost there, and then do festival grounds, because the festival grounds is only a couple months that the festival will run. I have done it before where the festival grounds will finish before the party blimps get there. So now what's going to happen is, and this happens in the DLC expansion packs a lot. I'll just back it up here a little bit. You get these, I call them dummy missions, where they're going to want 80,000 in weapons. They're going to want like 80,000 in rum, some ridiculous amounts. So much in steel, so much in other products, and it's just a dummy mission. It's similar to the start of Drone City. Just completely ignore this quest. What the real mission is, it's going to be to defeat multiple borings all over the place. And you're going to need to reassign a park. So what you're going to do here is, up on the... I like to show it as it's happening. I'm just waiting here for the prior festival to complete so I can get ready to start another festival. So now it says get rid of all of Tropico's boring in one simultaneous festival. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually building my park on the edge of the mountain, so that the blimps take the minimalist amount of time to get to the boring spot. All it has to do is the circle, the blue circle, just has to touch or be in the red boring circle to count. And so since this is a speed run, I'm just going to try and make that path as short as possible. So I'm just setting up the parks right now. Go ahead. Oh, that was kind of a dumb maneuver on my part. Not that I'm losing time, because it still needs to go ahead and make the balloons and the fireworks for the festival. So now I have up by the oil wells in gold the in the nickel the party balloons, and then the normal festival by the iron and coal. So what I think they want you to really do in this scenario is there's actually oil, or there's some resource in that middle part where we built by the tunnels. But I guess this works. So I'm just making sure I have the yep, I got it all set up here almost. You can only hold a festival every so often, so I have to wait another 2 months anyway. So I'm just clicking the button for the party blimps to get them going here in 1 month, and off they go. And now this is where I mentioned I'm going to give the blimps a little bit of lead time, so that I don't accidentally complete the festival at the festival grounds before the party blimps can get out to the far out boring circles. So I'm almost there, so I will start the festival ground festivals, and the scenario is complete. So that is really all for this scenario. If you like these kind of videos, go ahead and hit that like. If you have a question, leave a comment below and I will get back to you. And please consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.